Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your midday market report for Thursday, March 31st, 2022. Holy shit, I am back. Snuck out 2 days early to get back to the East Coast. 15 days and nights was enough. I did what we had to do, and now we are back. The first live show since Vegas, and we are blessed and honored and fortunate to have the mid-major king himself, the one and only Colton Sroka, who will be joining us in a second in our Windy City weekly review, as we like to say it here. A lot to talk about, a lot to catch up. For all the ECSI VIPs, we got an undefeated week going, 4-0 plus 4.33 units. Our NHL is in fuego. We are 11-1 our last 12 games. I never thought I would say something like that. We've had heaters before, but to turn it around in the pucks like we have has just been amazing, especially with the shortening boards of the college hoops. And we get the Final Four on Saturday, and tonight the NIT final, which I want to pick Colton's brain about. That number opened at 4.5, which to me, just me, is a statement on the A&M side, but we'll get to that. But anyways, without further ado, let's bring him in. The one, the only Mr. Colton Sroka.
Mr. Jeff Dawson, the legendary Cape Cod connection. What's going on, my brother?
How are you, sir?
Let me think about it. Spectacular. It's a beautiful day to be alive. The rest is up to me and thee. I'm choosing to spread positivity. You know the drill around these parts when I come on your show. Nothing but it. A couple of plays. You said it. The board is starting to slim down day by day, and been a little bit of a wheel spinning week for you, boy. I won't hide it. I'll be fully transparent. But hey, I had been absolutely killing the books. You saw what I'd been doing the last few weeks. So just a couple of days. It's what happens in this racket. Only down like a half a unit, a unit here, a unit there. So nothing crazy. I'm looking to have a big day, and brought along a little parlay with me as well.
Before we dive into those, we're exactly a week and a day from the start of MLB. There you go. One of my last days when I was in Vegas, I signed up myself and Scott into the under-overs contest at the Westgate. It was funny. I did it a couple of years ago, and I want to say there was like 150 people. I don't even think they had 20 when I signed up. And they still got like 7-8 days to go. So hopefully that will pick up. If not, they can just cut us the check now and we'll gladly take it. And then I did some futures on some pitching futures. And I was blessed to go to the window. And this beautiful young lady named Raina I spoke to. And I was like, I got two guys that aren't on your sheets. What can you do? And I was like, tell John Murray to wake up with Jeff Sherman. Get me some odds. And a half hour later, she came over and presto magic. She created two lines. So I was happy there.
Hey.
That was great service at the Westgate. Shout out to Raina again. We talked last show that you and I were on. So let's start.
Hey.
Give me some updated reports on the Cubbies. Give me a temperature report, anything to break down going on in spring training, or us guys on the east side can start looking for or maybe looking out for.
Nothing major as of yet. It still has to be determined if Frank Schwindel is a real-life human being or not. I'm still trying to figure out. I don't know if he is or not. Still unconfirmed per Dom over there at Obvious Shirts. Shout out all Cubby fans out there. The Obvious Shirts store is opening on opening day, right around the corner from the friendly confines. So check that out on opening day. Shout out my man Dom. Free plug there. But Suzuki yesterday hitting his first pimp shot in a Cubby blue and red, baby. Looked gorgeous. Looked great. He was so excited. The fan that caught it ended up giving it back to him at the end of the game, so that was really cool to see. Rotation's looking good. I'm not buying all the Stroh bullshit. Everybody wants to talk about, Stroh's already talking about going to the Giants and doing it. It's a circulation of the internet. We just haven't even had one doggone game yet, so people got to talk about other things he's talked about in the past. I'm not worried about it. I think he's going to come in. I think he's going to have some electricity ready to be pumping through him. I got nothing but loads of confidence in Hendricks. I mean, even kind of deeper into the pen, I really like the pen this year. The pen has kind of been something that's bit us in the ass a few times, but there was a reason we got rid of Kimbrel. There was a reason that we got rid of some of those names that I hate to say it, but Cubs fans just couldn't let go of. And when we let go of them, when we set Kimbrel to the South Sides last year, everybody hated it. I mean, everybody about died, had to come apart that it's a Cub fan of Ivy Dweller of any type, form or being. But I think we're starting to kind of get through that. I think we're starting to come into the light and realize, you know what? It's always darkest before the dawn. The new dawn has sprung, and I think it's going to be one hell of a season. Now, does that mean we're going to win the Central? No idea whatsoever. It seems to be that Wainwright, Yachty, and old Pujols are putting something together there, trying to make one last hurrah. Would hate to see that because I've been watching that nonsense since I was 3 years old enough to sit up and watch a baseball game. Baseball's obviously always been my first love. I cannot wait to get back to capping it again and just get back to watching Cubby baseball and being able to talk baseball with you all the time, man. It is my love. It is my passion. I mean, I know I go by the mid-major king. I love college basketball for sure. But when it comes down to MLB, man, there's just something about it. It is a game so beautiful. It has to be played on diamonds, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, how can you get any better than that? Outside of that, nothing major coming from Cubbies. I'll start to get some stuff turned up. I'm going to probably start blogging a little bit heavier too, as far as like some players, some teams, some stuff going on. Just brief synopsis stuff. Like we're talking a paragraph 2 maximum. Nothing like my UFC blog where you got to sit down and have a cup of coffee and read the doggone things. So just kind of food for thought there. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the season.
You talked about letting go, and that's a hard thing in any sport, baseball especially. A couple years back, the writing was on the wall for Mookie Betts, and the actual facts were that the Sox offered him like $330. They offered him a fair price, and he just didn't want to be here. I think he was one of those guys that wanted to be coddled. He wanted to go out there, test the market, or at least hope to test the market just to see what his true value was. And then, of course, in come the Dodgers, and the rest is history there. So I understand a lot of that. I guess my question to you, listen, in Vegas for as long as I was, and I was at some high stakes fantasy drafts. So these guys eat, sleep, drink, poop numbers, and, with the best of them. And some guys coming up to me, they know my business. They know what I do. Oh my God, they're printing money. Go over there and the Brewers to win the division. It's only minus 130. He goes, I'm out of money or I'd be printing more tickets, he said. And you know what? I get it. Okay. I get it. Their front end of their rotation is nasty. It's nasty. Then you look at their back end. They got Hader. They have Williams. They have a bunch of guys that can close these games up. They didn't have offense last year, hoping Yelich comes back. And then here's the Cardinals, who are going to be putting up touchdowns every game, but they have no starting pitching. They got, as you said, Wainwright, Reyes is already hurt, Flaherty's hurt. So I sit here and weekly think about you, and I'm like, it's the teams that are lying in the weeds that everyone has already buried and RIP'd them, that are the ones that come out smelling like a rose.
You see what's on my hat? I'll still keep repping regardless. I'm not the one that said it. Hey, it's coming from your mouth, my man. I'm not the one that said it, but that's honestly where my head's at. I mean, we open up the season 4-game series at home against Milwaukee, so like that's already where my head's at. Like, holy shit, we got to see Hader and we got to see Burns first game of the season. I mean, no, I don't want this. I'm not trying to have the boys take care of that 98 mile an hour cutter for the first pitcher they're trying to see. That's stupid. That's just stupid. So no, I am all over it with you, but also it's just like, I don't know if that offense is going to do much. So it's like, yeah, the Cubbies are literally laying in the weeds. And this team, I don't want to say it, but this team just feels like as under the radar as that 2016 team did. Like, Nobody knew who Chris Bryant was then. Nobody knew who Anthony Rizzo was then. Nobody gave a damn who Wilson Contreras was then. Like Grandpa Rossi had just left the Red Sox and was on his way out. Like he wasn't supposed to do jack shit. Like I don't know. That's just how this team feels. I'm not saying we're going to the World Series. I'm not even going to say we're winning a pennant. I'm just saying something about this team feels a little bit special.
I agree. And, nothing better than to start the season and shock the world 3-1 against the Brewers or something like that. It's home cooking, and baseball is all about momentum. So if you can shock the world early, get out of the gate, 3-1, and 3-1 and a quote unquote 2-game lead over the Brewers would be a great way to start the year.
It'd be an excellent way to start the year, especially with going immediately on the road for a 2-game stand to play the Pirates and then a 2-game stand after that to play the Rockies. So in Colorado. So we're all over the map as soon as that 4-game stand gets done. So we need to play well to open it up in the friendly confines for sure.
Let's transition since we won't be talking until next Thursday. Final four. Me as an opening number guy, everyone knew Moore was out for Nova, their second leading scorer. Kansas just put a shellacking on Miami. What a blitz that was. They held them to 15 points in the second half. I think they outscored them by 30 in the second half. Yet they only opened up 3.5-point favorites. So let me say that again.
How you doing?
The second leading scorer, Moore, is out to a team that was only 7 deep. So now they're 6 deep against this Kansas freight train. Only opened up 3.5-point favorites. Thoughts on the first game?
I hear you loud and clear. So here's kind of where my thought process is. And I first of all, I want to shout somebody out, and I want to make sure I'm shouting them out the correct way. So I had Jim Root on my show, Wise Words, yesterday, actually. He is a college basketball analyst, sports betting analyst, has his stuff featured on Action, has his stuff featured on PicksWise, Better IQ, Fade the Noise, all over the place. So had him on there, and actually towards the show, we had some really thoughtful conversation on this. And what I want to the main thing that he said that I really want to pull out, and I just can't get past it. Okay, so obviously everybody's going to look at Kansas after that absolute throttling, right? And that's kind of what it's looking like. Right now, it's seeming like monetary liability to me, about 74% of actual money coming in on the Jayhawks minus the 4.5. Now, what Mr. Root clued me in on, and I guess didn't even clue me in on it, I guess just like refreshed my mind as far as like, damn, yeah, actually they do. Now, the Cats team already playing with 7, I understand. Now down to 6. Well, if they're losing him more, why didn't this go up 5, 6, 6.5? Number one. Number two, you know this as well as I do, being a fan of the Big East, playing this team time and time again with you UConn Huskies. Villanova has an uncanny ability to stop ball in the half court. And in order to get their game going, Kansas needs to get out and run. And Villanova doesn't need to think about, oh, I have to stop Agbaji. Oh, I have to stop Brown. Oh, I have to get over here. They are incredibly good at 1 picking up 4, 2 picking up 3, 3 picking up 5, and being able to just stay in the lanes and stop ball. And then we'll figure it out from there. Just stop the ball. Like, that is Jay Wright mentality. Stop the damn ball, get them to slow down in the half court, and I'll tell you where we guys need to go from there. And then it's just honestly what they do. So I think they control the pace. I think they slow it down. I think we see a Cats defensive game. I don't know how we can't with you see the throttling of Kansas over Miami in the last game. I mean, they didn't let up. And you said it, 30, 35-point drubbing in the second half. And I mean, it was over before it was even started in the second half. So if I'm leaning anywhere, don't quote me on it yet, but I think I'm leaning actually taking the points with the Cats plus the 4.5, just with the lack of movement and that monetary liability coming in on the Jayhawks at the time being.
I lost for words because when I saw Jay Wright and UConn play at the XL Center, I have said this countless times. I'll say it again. It was Hoosiers 2022 version. And I've never seen a team work together. Everyone knows their role. Everyone knows exactly what they do. And I say this, they bring three guys in sweatsuits off the bench that help the opponents wipe the floor down, and they all get up in unison. And the timeout, they all come together. It is, I've never seen a team like that work together. And it's kind of funny, Colton. No one has mentioned, they forgot about the absolute box to wire Drubb and Nova put on Houston.
Huh.
It was just box to wire.
Yeah. What do you know about that?
They controlled the tempo from the opening tip. Houston was never in the game, but no one's talking about it.
And that, my friend, is where the cookie crumbles. This entire March Madness bracket, no matter what game you look at, whether it's a 7 versus an 8 or a 16 versus a 1, bottom line, point blank period. Yeah, what the hell? I just totally lost my train of thought there. I had something really good I was going on. What we were just talking about the Houston and the
Nova.
In the Nova game. I don't know where my train of thought was there. Son of a, it'll come back to me. Sometimes I just get all these damn tracks and shit. We get to having such good conversation. My brain goes in one way. I'm all over the place. What I do know is that I really am confident in the doggone Cats. I just think that unison you talk about, what they do as a team, as a unit, is just bar none. It's just bar none, and I think they got one hell of a shot to take care of business here today. Or not today, I guess, in the future, Saturday.
Round 3, Duke, Carolina. First time in their history to play in the tournament. The last time they played, Carolina on Coach K's final game, senior day, come in 11-point underdogs and shock the world literally, and beat Duke. The game wasn't even close again. Kind of surprised here. I thought the number would even have opened up higher with the people thinking, hey, there's no way Coach K's going out against the Tar Heels. They're talking. We were at the book, and they were talking as this game got closer to setting up, and they're saying that the biggest game ever viewed was Magic versus Bird way back in the late 70s. I think it was 78. And now they're comparing this will be the biggest one ever. A line that it's right around 4 again, I think it is, or maybe I don't even know if it's tipped to 4.5.
Eureka! I got it. It's back to my head. When the game that nobody is talking about, the side that nobody is talking about, all March Madness long, that is the side that is taking care of business. And that was, I lost my train of thought when I was like, regardless if it's 16 or 1 or 7 or 8. And I was like, what the fuck am I even talking about here? That is the side. The one that nobody is talking about, that is the side that has been taking care of business. That's why I was going with that. I just couldn't figure out where I was going with the doggone thing. My brain just short-circuited. So, hey, cherry on top of that one. Please carry on.
Well, that's where my head was at the MGM. At the MGM the night before opening tip-off. I was already out there for 2 days and 2 nights. Not one person said the name New Mexico State. Not one. Yet the line dropped to 0.5 point. I was like, oh, no, my Huskies aren't going to just not cover. They're going to lose.
You knew it. You called it. You told me. You were like, oh, I think the Huskies are about to lose outright. I'm like, no, you'll be all right. I think everything will be cool. And then, it just started to shake out and shake out and shake out. And next thing I know, we're at dinner and it's halftime and the Huskies are down double digits and it's getting sweaty and Hurley's pacing up and down the floor. And I said, oh my gosh, Dawson called it. Holy shit. And they get double digit bounce. I said, oh my gosh. I don't even know if we're going to be able to see the kid here today. He's going to be pent up in his hotel room, not coming out for the next week.
Needless to say, all my Yukon gear got already put back into the. I was all set. I had the hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts. I had a game jersey. I mean, I was going to be pimping for 2 weekends.
Ready to vibe.
Stuff into the suitcase real quick.
You know what was my favorite? My favorite was being out there, right? And somebody had been in the book all day drinking or whatever, and they just were the biggest XYZ team, whatever, and XYZ team got bounced off the damn court like the ball they were playing with. And you just see this guy stumbling down the strip, just like trying to figure out his sorrows and like, what the hell is he going to do with the rest of his weekend here now that his team's gone? Like, it's just the best fucking visual.
All right, round 3. What are we using for a line here? 4.5? Is it at 4.5?
Yeah, it opened 4. I caught it 4. Actually, I do have a play on the game. I caught it at 4. It looks like it's moved up to 4.5, but I'm kind of thinking it's a little fugazi, but we'll talk about it.
So again, I always talk about the sizzle or the steak. Are you buying the story? The fact that, of course, Coach K's got to the Final Four. Is that enough for the story, or does he have to go and cut the nets down in to complete the story and go off on the white horse? I thought the line honestly should have been higher. The kids from Duke have just taken it up to another level. The way that they played in that last half, prior to their last game, who'd they have the game before? Was that Arizona? No,
Duke. That
Duke.
was why am I blanking?
No, Houston beat Arizona. Who the hell was it?
Oh,
Wow, I have a brain fart.
yeah. See, it happens to the best of us, buddy. See. Here, hold on. I got you. Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Arkansas,
Okay.
and Texas Tech before that. So
That's
two
who I wanted. The
impressive
Texas
wins.
Tech. Their last 8.5 minutes, they didn't miss a bucket, and
Correct.
so the whole world was on Tech that game. They win that one, and then Arkansas and Duke. I'm telling you, I was on Arkansas. I bit the cheese, and I knew I was sitting with Mr. Lucky, his two friends from West Virginia, and
Shout out, buddy.
4 minutes in, he goes, "What's wrong?" I says, "I'm on the wrong side." He goes, "It's only 4 minutes
I
in." I'm
knew it.
like, "No, I'm on the wrong side."
You watch enough college basketball and you just know the feeling. And it's also it goes hand in hand too. Like last 2 minutes, you're down by 10, and you're like, oh yeah, I got this, no problem. This is gonna be a cover. Like it's hand in hand. That's just if you watch enough college basketball, you bet enough college basketball, you can feel a game and where it's gonna go instantaneously. Instantaneously. Like even if like a team, oh yeah, they're sucking right now, but yeah, they're gonna have a pop here soon. Like you can always feel that, and it's just so bizarre in college basketball. That's real interesting.
So, give us your take on Duke, North Carolina.
I'm going to direct it back to something Jim Root said as well yesterday, and it made me hammer it in at the 4.5. I took the Blue Devils minus 4.5. I haven't officially tracked it, but I am going to lay it. Everybody and their brothers and everybody in between that are already taking UNC on the spread. They're already gladly taking all 4.5 points. Now, what he directed me to, he said, now think about this. Duke was 3-point favorites at UNC, right? They won that game. Then they came home. Coach K's last game, I think, got caught up in a little bit of the fanfare, got throttled as 11-point favorites. So just naturally, you sit and you think about that. Neutral court, 6, 7, somewhere in that ballpark. Now, I completely understand what we've been seeing from UNC, but 4.5, 4, some spots trickle up to a 4.5. I think it's moving in the right direction. I really think this line is too low. I think it needs to be a little bit higher. I know UNC is playing good, and I hate laying chalk. And the fact that I'm even saying this is crazy, but so is Duke. Duke is playing good in and of themselves. They are terrific. You just said it. They didn't miss a basket in the final 2 against Texas Tech. I look like a dummy on Texas Tech's side. I don't want to have to deal with that again. And much like you kind of said for the Aggies today, I think that's a statement for the Blue Devils. I think if this was going to be a back and forth affair, I think that this one would be closer to plus 1.5, minus 1.5, or maybe a 2.5. I don't think it would be at 4. And I think that they're setting that to get all the money to come in on UNC, all the bets to come in on UNC, and Duke takes care of this by 7 or 8.
I was trying to figure out the opening number, and I was sitting there and at the circa, and I was like 5. And then 5 minutes later, I was like, no, I think 5.5. And I was like, you know what? If these guys have any balls, they're going to say Duke minus 6. That was my number. And whenever I saw 4, I tend to get nervous saying, all right, here comes the Duke money, but it's been back and forth. So they found the soft spot. They found the number where they can get that money going back and forth. And shout out to Jim Root. The first Thursday that I was there, Tim Murray and Sean King were working, doing their show. They came out and said hello to us. And after the show, Jim was talking to Jim Root. He introduced me to Jim. Jim, if you happen to be watching this, I was glad to have met you. And I think Tim started, goes, you do know Jim Root too. And I was like, yes, I follow him. I know Jim. So it was great there. So, all right. So I am leaning Duke, honestly. I am leaning Duke. And I assume the closer we get, it'll be interesting to see if it goes to 4. I think it goes to 5 by tip off.
I would agree with you. And one final closing point. We've talked about the money in the bets coming in on the spread side of UNC. The money in the bets are coming in on Duke. However, I don't really tend to think that that matters because it's a minus 200 on the money line. And you tell me what sharp that you know is coming out of the woodwork to hammer in minus 200 on the money line. I tend to think that this kind of like a fugazi kind of like, oh, it's 80% and 80%, but maybe there's only been like $100 wagered on it because it's just a bunch of parlay ads. That's kind of where my head's at. And I just really, truly, the more I talk about it, I just feel like this is a setup for UNC. And we see a little Villanova Duke, and Duke cuts down the nets.
I think that's in my bracket that mattered. I can feel proud of myself. I had Nova in the championship game. Now, egg on my face. It was versus Kentucky. So
Same. I flipped, man. We sat and talked. And I was like, you know what? Arizona does seem pretty stupid. Let's stay away from the Wildcats. Too bad it was stay away from all of the Wildcats, not just the one version of Wildcats. They're all going to be bad this March Madness. Stay away with everything you have.
All right. So let's go to tonight's board. Let's give you the stage here. We have some NBA, we have some NHL, and of course we have the NIT championship. And as I stated in my opener, kind of a statement in my eyes on that opening line. I'm seeing now A&M minus 4 and a hook, which to me is a statement. But I'm kind of curious. The stage is yours. What you have for action tonight?
I actually got to play on this game, and I do think it's a statement, but I think it's a statement a little bit differently than maybe we might not be on the same page. So I'm actually going to get involved with the dog in this matchup. I'm going to take Xavier plus the 4.5. I caught him at 4. I'm fine with the move up to 4.5. That's just fine by me. I don't play to push, so I have firm belief that this is going to 2-point finish, 3-point finish, or the Xavier is going to win this one outright. Now, it did open up 4, has trickled up to that 4.5, but that is with Texas A&M per Action Network. Shout out those guys over there. 69% of bets, 83% of money at consensus. So if you're seeing that action, I tend to believe that should be at 5.5 by now. Like it was at 4.5 at 8 o'clock Central this morning. So 7 o'clock Central this morning. It already moved. So with it being frozen all day long and still Texas A&M getting that action all day long, I just can't buy into it. Now, I did fade this same exact spot pretty much against the Washington State Cougars. However, I think this is a little bit different spot on that line. Yeah, it's definitely a bigger line. It's definitely a statement from, hey, we put that at 2, now it's up to 4.5. We think they're going to take care of business. I would kind of say au contraire. I think quite possibly that the books are moving this up to, hey, Texas A&M has whooped our ass with us putting us low numbers for the last month and a half now. Let's move them up, and I think this is the time that it kind of is a little bit of a scuffle for them. Now, you don't have to believe me on the money. You don't have to believe me on the splits, the frozen line, all that stuff. I totally get it because everybody looks at it a little differently. But I want you to direct you to a couple of things that Texas A&M has had the advantage in over the course of their last few games, but they don't have it today. Number one is tempo. Now, we obviously all know Aggies like to slow down the pace. They like to take it easy, work the clock. You know as well as I do that they're not going to be able to do that against Xavier. Xavier knows one pace, and that is hammer down, and they do not stop. That is all they do all game long. I have been in multiple spots where there has been a total of 137, 138, what exactly this spread is today, or the total is today. And I've been all over the under because there was a team that had a very slow tempo. And tend to be that opponent that had the very slow tempo, their opponent was Xavier. And I've got burned in this spot multiple times. And I'm just buying into Xavier's tempo here to just really dictate the pace of the game. They're 97th in adjusted tempo per KenPom, 199th for the Texas A&M Aggies in that same exact stat. I firmly believe Xavier boat races the Aggies here today, and it helps them get that cover, if not that outright win. Now, that's the one thing. The second thing is size, physicality. This is probably the worst matchup that Texas A&M has had over the course of the entire NIT tournament, or maybe the last 5 games of the year. Xavier ranks 22nd in height in the nation per KenPom. Texas A&M 296 in that exact same stat. So much, much, much smaller than the Musketeers. I really think that leads to the Musketeers winning the hustle stats. You know me, the rebounds, the turnovers, the 50-50 balls. And that's what matters come this time of the year. I think it also comes down to some free throws, and Xavier has the edge in that category as well. But if you don't believe me on the keys, you don't believe me on all that, you don't like the bets, you don't like the splits, believe the trends. TAMU, Texas A&M University, 7-20 against the number their last 27 Thursday games. Slim that sample size down for you. They're 1-5 ATS last 6 Thursday games. Go back to a bigger sample size. Xavier, 39-17-4 against the number their last 60 Thursday games. Slim it down one more time for you. 10-2 against the number their last 12 Thursday games. Xavier's also 35-14-2 their last 51 as a neutral site dog. And turn your volume way up for this one. Xavier is 11-4 straight up their last 15 games against an SEC opponent. Give me all of the points the books are willing to give. Xavier Musketeers plus 4.5.
I like where that's going. Like I said, I'm looking here at Wager Talk. 57% of the bets, 67% of the money all coming in on the Aggies. I always talk about that 67-33 split's always been the honey hole. And that would definitely follow in what you are talking about in this game. Anything else on the board today, sir?
Well, I did have a couple of plays. And I put together a little parlay. Nothing like super staunch, like, oh my gosh, this is just an absolute. And I don't know. Maybe I've been hyping them up too much. Maybe I just need to say, this parlay sucks. You guys should play it or you shouldn't play it, whatever. And that's the one that bankrupts them all. So I actually do have a 4-leg parlay for you. I got the total out of that game, 2 NHL legs, and then a NBA leg. So I could just ditch them right out live in primetime. Pretty simple. I don't have a bunch of trends or anything. The first one is the over 137.5 in Xavier and Texas A&M. Boatloads of money coming in since last night. Actually, I've been tracking it since last night on the under, and this line has only kind of stayed right at 137 or gone to 138. And I just told you about that. It was like almost classic all year long. If a Big East team was involved and you saw this total, you might as well sign yourself up that it was going over. Average bettor's not going to know that right now going in to dive into to try and bet the NIT. So Xavier, Texas A&M over 137 first leg. Second leg, I will be fully transparent with you. This is a total fade of every expert and every bettor and every public person out there. And I'm sorry, Mr. Dawson, but everybody's giving out Boston Bruins -1.5. And I know they throttled the Devils twice already this year. And you're laughing because I think we got the same eyes. I have a hard time believing. I got burned on this a few times this week, but I have a hard time believing that 3 days in a row, everybody, their brothers, their dogs, their aunts, their uncles, and their cousins twice removed are going to give out a puck line, and it is going to get handled. Now, I will tell you that Boston is 8-25 against the puck line on their home ice this season, and the Old Devils are 16-17 against the puck line on the road. So a chance to go 500 for the Devs, and a chance not at all for the Bruins. I don't know. Call me crazy with everybody giving it out, but I'm taking the Devs plus 1.5 second leg. Third leg, another hockey puck line. We're taking the Blue Jackets plus 1.5. You said kind of that honey pot, that sweet spot. This isn't a setup spot. This is more of my sweet spot when I play a dog on a puck line. This -140, having to pay a quarter and a couple of dimes and a nickel, is what it is. It's not the most favorable thing, but when you can get that added onto a parlay, somewhere around that -140, -160 on a puck line is absolutely beautiful, and I love it here with Columbus tonight in their matchup. So third leg, and then fourth and final leg, I got to see a little red. I know the line movement's not been good at all. It was opened at 4. It's down to 2, despite the Bulls getting all of the money, so I'm avoiding the spread. The boys are home at the UC. Just get the job done for crying out loud and get this thing to the pay window. Fourth and final leg, Chicago Bulls on the money line. Those 4 bad boys are plus 906 odds, a little over 9-1 odds payout for you, so not too shabby. You got a $10 bill burning a hole in your pocket if you just want a little extra pizza and beer. You got $100 after this bad boy makes it to the pay window. So there you go. There you have it. That over in the over 137.5 in the NIT game. New Jersey Devils plus 1.5. Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5, and the Chicago Bulls on the money line parlayed up for plus 906 odds.
I was the one earlier this week that gave out the Leafs plus 133 at Boston, and box to wire. I mean, I know the Leafs won 6-4. They were up 6-1 after two. Um, a game that opened up, the line actually opened up like -115. Bruins got steamed to 147. And when I went to bed the night before, I'm like looking at the overnight numbers. I'm like, man, that's opening up way too low. They definitely want the Bruin money, and they sure
Mm.
got it. I mean, the
Yep.
whole world was on the
Yep.
Bruins. So I like where your head is. I like everything that you definitely said there on that parlay.
I hate it.
So
I hate it. It's terrible. It's the worst one I've ever given out. It ain't going anywhere close to the pay window. Don't hammer it in.
on the bottom of the screen, your scroller has been talking to the eyes in the sky throughout the last 37 minutes. They can follow you, obviously, at Colt TTL Sports at Talking the Line. He is the mid-major king. Soon will be the Cubby king. How's that sound?
Yo, I'm getting on Amazon right now and I'm finding a crown that's made out of Cubs colors and stuff. It's done. Done deal. Done deal. I'm with it.
The Cubby king. Tell everyone where to find you, all your social media spots where they can get you. I'm not even sure. Is there a UFC card this weekend?
There is not this weekend. If you didn't see me tweet it on Monday, I found out through talking with one of my connections in the MMA space. I was like, yo, what's up? What do you think of this, this, and that? He's like, bro, there's no card. It's like, shut up. Nah. What are you talking about? Yeah, there is and that. And I opened up my ESPN app. There's no card this weekend. And I said, oh, no. So I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I had a full rant. If you want to see a funny rant, I joke around when I get passionate and I just start getting wild and like it's for laughs and it's for jokes. I'm just a fucking goofball at the end of the day. Pardon my French. And I had a little bit of a UFC rant on Monday, I think it was, when I found out. I just went down the hole and shouted out Dana and I don't need any of this. And Sean Shelby, if you guys need somebody to work the weekends, let me know. I mean, I was going off. So if you guys want a good laugh, go check that out. I clipped that up on the YouTube page. But as far as the content, go ahead, Jeff. What you got?
No, I was going to say Dana's probably saying, you know what? Let's take the weekend off. We don't want to compete against the Final Four.
Well, that was part of my analysis, but I said, hey, as a good old-fashioned ticket cashing degenerate, if there's a will, there's a way. Look, I don't care if there's two games going on at once. I'll go get my other damn TV and I'll bring it in the living room with me and I'll watch fights on the side. Hey, it's all right. I got plenty of action. But as far as my content, as far as me, everything in between, I don't know. I guess I don't know how I can put this any plainer. And I'm sorry if I piss anybody off with this, but you like negativity, you like toxicity, you like people talking about the latest and greatest drama and feeding into that and yada, yada, yada. Don't follow me. Don't come down to @ColtTTL Sports. Do not do it. Because the positivity, the love, the good vibes, like everything that I've kind of dished out today, it's not fake. It's not a joke. It's not funny, haha to me. I do it to make somebody else smile, to make somebody else change their thought. Maybe if somebody's dragging their knuckles for a day that's not in as good as a position as I am, that I've been blessed and completely humbled to be able to sit in front of a camera and talk every single day of my life about something that I love, sports, gambling, and sports. But apparently I don't do that. But either way, if that's the case, I don't know. If that's what you like, then don't follow me. But it's not a front. It's not a fake. This guy you see here will be on my TTL show, Wise Word show, whatever other content that I put out, Twitter space, whatever the case might be. So if you're looking for that, I'm your guy. It'll always be some type of positivity, some type of something funny, something off the wall. So right there, you see it. Perfect timing @ColtTTL Sports. And I just want to make it really clear. That's why I'm in this space, is to make a difference in the lives of others. Cashing tickets is great. Yeah, chasing a bag is great. Awesome, wonderful. But my goal is to make a difference in the lives of others, and especially the others that haven't been as blessed as me. And if I can use this platform to do that, then 150% I did my job. So that's what I'm here for. If you like additional sports gambling content on top of all that stuff, you can follow at Talking the Line. That is kind of my one-stop shop, the hub for everything. Got the TTL pod every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and then the Wise Words pod. I teased that today with Jim Root. Yesterday it dropped. It drops every single Wednesday, 12 p.m. Central. We actually got a familiar face of the ECSI family joining us next week. Who's to say? Who's to know? Maybe. I don't know who's to say, who's to know. Either way, we got him, and then we got another awesome member of the Wager Talk family coming on a week after that. So actually, a connection I made out in Vegas, and had a couple back end conversations. He said, "Yeah, dude, let's do it. That would be awesome." So we're gonna do that. We got those coming out, and then just kind of everything all encompassing in between. You'll see plenty of MLB content. Like I said, I'm going to have some new blogs and stuff coming out. I tend to really get into the pitching rotations and all types of different stuff as like even kind of week by week. And like, who knows, you might even see me write a daggone blog about the Portland Pickles, for crying out loud. I mean, I eat, sleep, and breathe baseball, my friend. So I can't wait. I am juiced. I keep bringing the vibes. I keep bringing the energy. You guys need it. I will keep pumping it out. I don't know where I get it from. Maybe it's the 15 of these I drink every single day. I haven't a clue, but I'll keep pumping it out for you guys, and I'll keep sharing that message of peace, love, and positivity, because I ain't heard no many other people say it in this space, so I guess I'll say send me.
So you got it right there. So next week, when we meet again at 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central, I think we'll start with some MLB and the Brewers versus the Cubbies. We will take it right from you. We will get the temperature from the Windy City as the Brew Crew heads to Chicago for a 4 spot. Hopefully weather is not a factor and they get all 4 games. And usually, when you go like here in Boston as well, you might get snowed out the first day and 65 the second day,
It's snowing here right now. It's been snowing since 8 a.m. this morning. I said, is it March 31st or did we rewind? I thought global warming would have had done take care of all this by now. I don't know what in the world is going on. It's Armageddon out there, Dawson.
There was on the timelines on social media, I forget how many years back, on April Fool's days, we got like 1.5 feet of snow. So anything's possible.
I'm good on all that. Please, I'm good on all that. I need to move on with my life and into springtime. I got stuff to do here.
So follow him at Colt TTL Sports and at Talking the Line. He is the mid-major king. Starting next week, he will be our very own Cubby King. So coming to you at your local Burger King. So shout out, hey, Burger King, we're right here if you need us. So
hey.
Get the golden crown there. So for everyone that was watching today, thank you. We are blessed to have you. We would not be here without you. And with that said, if you are wagering tonight or investing, please do it responsibly. There is an 800 number available. Ask for help. Why? Because myself and Colton care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Colton Sroka at Colt TTL Sports at Talking the Line. We wish everyone a blessed day. Have some fun with these games, cash some tickets, and we will see you bright and early in the morning.